Hello, time travelers. Welcome to Werewolves Shapeshifter Tarot. Tonight, we're asking the cards, what is freedom? We talk a lot about freedom on this channel, and it's time to get back to the basics and really understand what it is we're talking about. So we asked the cards the question, what is freedom? And 3 dragons came forward with their messages, each one clarified by the tarot. The first message comes from the onion dragon with the card of release, clarified by the Hierophant. This dragon teaches that freedom is not control, freedom is release. It is willingness to peel back the layers of what we thought was true, moment to moment, and let them fall away. It is not about forcing life into our shape, not about arguing with what is, not about defending or explaining. Freedom is the courage to let what is simply be. And when what is feels painful, when our perception clouds with sorrow, then even our tears become holy. Tears wash the eyes, cleansing perception, letting us see again with the heart. The Hierophant reminds us that yes, we have choice, we have will, but the deeper truth is when we surrender control, a higher power can move through us. That power is love, and love has no judgment. Love does not control. Love simply flows. There's a story here about perception. If you are born into a world where the earth is covered in thorns, every step hurts. You could wish to cover the whole world in rubber to make it safe, but that is impossible. Yet the solution is simple. You cover your feet, and suddenly the world does not harm you anymore. The wish to cover the entire world in rubber brings you pain and suffering because it is impossible, but it is a solution to end suffering that exists because of the nature of the reality. Yet, cleansing our perception and letting love move through us helps change our perception so we could see the real solution, which is to cover our feet. Now, it didn't change the danger, the pain, the thorny earth was still there, but now you can move on it without being hurt. That is how releasing what we thought is true, that what we thought we needed to make things better, the impossibility that caused us sadness, when we release that, we release control, we release what we believe was true, and we let love flow through us, then we are free. We're free from the pain. We're free to interact with reality differently. The way it affects us changes. Freedom is like this. It doesn't erase the thorns or the crocodiles in the river. There's a story of Mr. Magoo, and he's blind and he doesn't see the danger. So when he's walking across the river, the crocodiles are snapping at him, but he's just stumbling across, thinking he's stepping on, stepping stones. And he makes it across the other side unharmed because he didn't see the danger. It didn't erase the danger. But the way he was able to move through the world kept him safe. He had a different perception. Releasing control changes how you see. A free person doesn't perpetuate suffering. because they've stopped suffering, and by their example, they help others find release too. The second message comes from the blueberry dragon, carrying the word goals, clarified by the Four of Cups. This dragon teaches that freedom doesn't mean drifting without direction. Being free doesn't mean you have no goals. It doesn't mean that you don't dream or strive or plan. What it does mean is this: you release control over the outcome. You walk towards your goals, but you don't grip them so tightly that they must come in only one form. You let your heart lead you step by step. You trust that the outcome may be different than expected, but will always be an expansion of love. The Four of Cups reminds us that often the gift we need is right before us, though we may not see it at first. If our goals are heart-led, then every step, even the detours, leads deeper into connection, stability, and growth. So freedom doesn't ask us to release our goals. Freedom asks us to release our need to control them, to live with vision, but without expectation, to let love shape the destination. And the final message comes from the orange dragon with rewards, clarified by the Three of Coins. This dragon teaches that freedom is not an ending. It is not death, stagnation, or emptiness. Freedom is alive. It is creative. It is fruitful. When you release control, when you set your goals from the heart and walk the path step by step, then life opens into sweetness. The Three of Coins shows us how that sweetness comes through growth, through collaboration, through new skills, through joyful creation. When you are free, stress dissolves. What once felt heavy becomes light. Learning becomes easy. Growth becomes fun. Opportunities surprise you. Skills come naturally because your heart is engaged, and life itself becomes juicy, ripe with delight. The sacred gift of freedom is this: not only release, not only direction, but also reward, the sweetness of life lived in love. So what is freedom? Freedom is release. It's letting go of control, letting the heart cleanse the eyes so you no longer suffer. Freedom is direction. It is walking with goals but not clutching outcomes, trusting love to guide the way. And freedom is reward. It is the sweetness, the growth, the playfulness, and the surprise that come naturally when you live in love. Freedom is not control. It is not aimless. It is not an end. Freedom is release, direction, and reward. It is living as love, open to the moment, steady on the path, and sweet in the harvest. That's the full current of this reading. Thank you for joining me tonight at Werewolves a Shapeshifter Tarot. May you have sweet dreams, whether it's by day or by night. May you live in love and release and allow. Thank you.